Hey kids, if you haven't been keeping up with the recent Noita news, there has been a groundbreaking discovery in terms of new Noita exploits. Now, this game has been broken to hell and back, and there's still more that people are figuring out. And for those who are not in the loop, the new exploit has to deal with summon hollow eggs. Now, the way regular hollow eggs work, they're just like any other trigger spell, right? If I put a deer right here, shoot it at the ground, it breaks the egg, and then a deer comes out. If I put two hollow eggs, same thing happens. It summons an egg, which summons a deer, right? This gets broken. This is what is left inside the egg. This gets broken, and this is what is inside. Now, the exploit has to deal with this unique mechanic of hollow eggs, where you can shoot it and pick it up. Now, if you pick up this egg, the deer is still contained inside of this egg, which means if I toss the egg right here, it will summon a deer. And how is that game breaking, you might ask? Well, sure, you can bring a spell around, but that does not exactly, allow you to have like a god run. Well, if I shoot the egg, and right now I want to be very careful to not break it. So this one broke. That one's a mulligan. So I'm gonna kick that away. Let's see. Oh, we're actually going to toss the swamp potion down. I'm gonna shoot the egg into the swamp so that the liquid cushions it, and I'm going to hit, not mods, new game. All right, it's crucial that, right, if I scroll over to the nightmare part, you can see the game will restart due to mod changes. I do not want that to show up. So the new game, no red text. I'm gonna hit new game. Boom, the egg is still here, and inside of this egg is actually a deer. The deer that I cast from the previous run is now in my new game run. I have cast a spell from my previous run into my next run. This is very, very abusable. For instance, what if instead of having a deer, I had a worm farm and a wand farm? Now, because this spell uses gold to power as a killing mechanism for lag-friendly purposes, which you will see is very necessary, I have to give myself some gold. And you might notice that this complicated setup does sort of require you to have a god run in the first place. But if, for example, your game crashed and you don't want to spend the time and effort doing another normal run, this can be a way for you to circumvent that. So while we're at it, let's actually, in the meantime, you guys can check out the build. You can, right now I'm using 3 hollow eggs instead of the 2, because I do want to make sure that the spell stays inside of the egg, right? If I hit new game, sometimes the new game egg is flung into the air, and if it lands on the ground, it'll crack, and whatever spells inside will be cast. In this case, right, if I hit new game, so this egg will be broken. This is what's left, and if for some reason this one gets broken, I still am able to pick up this whole spell and move it around and cast it wherever I want. Now, I'm going to give myself like 250,000 gold. That's how much gold you get when you go to the gold room, so it should be pretty easy to acquire when you're in a god run. All right, 250k. Let's break our bottle and make sure the egg can safely land on the ground. Now I'm going to hit new game, and again, make sure that this red text, right, you see the game will restart due to mod changes, make sure that is not there, and I'll hit new game. So inside this egg is a wand and a heart farm. The first thing you're going to want to do when you grab this is actually not go inside the mines. I've done this several times, several iterations of this sort of route or this sort of start, and I've found that to get the most consistent proc out of this 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 heart farm and the worm farm is actually to go up here and grab this egg. All right, and it's helpful that they actually look different. So the egg with the spell will be a lot brighter than the egg with the worm, right? And you can also see from the bottom left, there's a description. There's a hollow egg when you hover over this, and this is a wiggling egg, which will have a worm. So now that we have those two, we are gonna go into the mines. And I'm actually gonna give myself a teleporting one just to make this quicker, so you guys don't have to watch me, slowly walk around. And if you happen to find an egg here, so let's check. That's a potion, not an egg. But if you do find an egg, grab that as well. Let's see. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, fine. You wanna go here. Now in the back of your head, keep in mind how many layers do you have around the main spell. When I cast this, I had 3 hollow eggs. When I hit new game, one of them was removed. Now there should be 2 layers of eggs that is protecting the farm, which means if I throw this on the ground, it will crack once, and there will be an egg that comes out. If I throw it on the ground and it hits the wall and it breaks, that's where the farm will be cast. So let's see if I throw it on the ground. There we go. Right, it hit this and it hit the wall, and that's where this spell was cast. Now this is where the next egg comes into play. You want to make sure the best location I find is right above it. Right, it's hard to miss, and you even have a sight line. Throw it right at the center of this plasma. Right, and there you have it. And the next thing you want to do is actually pause. Wait a couple seconds, pause, wait a couple seconds, pause. This will actually give you a sense of how laggy the game is. As things get more and more laggier, you will notice that there is the delay between when you hit pause and when the game actually pauses. And another reason why you want to keep track of this is as soon as it gets unbearably laggy for the game, that's when you want to hit mods, restart with enable mods active. So I'm gonna let this run a couple more times, a couple more pauses, just to get some build up of good loot, right? So right now we're getting gold, we're getting spells, and we're getting hearts. So I'm gonna, and I'll say when I pause actually, so you can get a sense for the delay. So I'm gonna pause right now, and there's almost no delay. I'm gonna hit pause. I'm waiting. So there was a couple seconds of delay right there, and if I was not confident in my PC's ability to handle all this action that's going on, I'll just go to mods, restart with enable mods active, and I'll let the game reboot. And the spell will still be going on. There'll still be explosions. However, I don't know if you can see, there are no worms that are being spawned right now. So the spell the farm has been stopped, has been cancelled, and in the meantime you can grab this gold, and all the explosions, they'll finish. And what's left, there's still a plasma beam. It's really hard to see because of all the wands, but there is a plasma beam still that's inside here. So do be a little bit careful. I have 26 health, and a smart thing to do would actually be to get another enemy to walk into the plasma beam and nudge it away. But if you're careful, and if you have kept track of where the beam was, you could... Let me see if I can push it with the tablet. There we go. This is all the hearts that were accumulating from that heart farm. And it keeps going up. It keeps going up because there were so many worms that died in that instance. Now there is probably still more somewhere inside there. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to walk to the edge where I can find wands. And I can... Now these are duplicates because they were spawned in the same location. But if I scoot just a bit... Oh, touch the hearts. There we go. Press up again. Right, still got more. And let's say I went to the Holy Mountain, I picked up a heal, and I came back up here. And I'm going to jump into the Plasma Beam just to scoot it away. Yeah, I took some damage right there. But if we move around a little bit more, there should be a, increased wand variety. It seems like because this was... Yeah, it seems like because I cast this farm in a corner that there aren't too many different spells, wands to choose from, which is unfortunate. It does. I will try to get another. I will try to do another showcase of this where I get more than just these 3 wands. But 9,000 health in what, like 30 seconds of operating or a minute of operating this hard farm. Now the reason why I want to do this here and not like somewhere in the mines is that having open space, what I found is that having open space is kind of necessary to be able to have this farm go on. It seems like being in narrow corners just breaks the farm for some reason. And you gotta remember to make sure you have enough gold. So I'm going to actually give myself gold. And I'll put the let me put the wand so you can see the build down here. This is there it is. And as I give myself gold, I can explain the way it works. Now it's also based off of the wand farm, or the heart farm, infinite heart farm, infinite wand farm. But the way I combine those two is using a long distance cast that somehow makes it such that I can cram those two into one single cast. This is the explosion is to kill the ghosts, and the gold to power is to kill the worms, because using freeze melee will be more laggy. Let's just go to 200,000. That will be enough. Let's make even 200,000. And let's just do 1 egg because showcase it's right there. And if I don't know if rock spirits will actually proc it. I don't think so. We can try. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't. So if so let's say you did find an egg and summon egg, right? Let's say you found one of these in the wands. Right? Go here, go above it, which is, unless if you're confident in your throwing ability, you can go from the side, but I would go above it, right? And this goes on. Everything's blowing up. And then pause, mods. You start with enable mods active. Alright, wait for this to finish exploding. You could go in, but I believe you will be damaged. Now, you can see we have much more of a wand variety, right? So you have this, and what I like to do is I like to stand in the pile of wands and I hit E. Oh, I accidentally cast this. Actually, in here. Let me clear out the projectiles. Let me get rid of this wand right here. So I like to stay here. I like to press E until I get something that I like. So. Let's say I want a black hole, right? So I just go to the side, toss this one to the side, and I'll repeat the process. It does seem like we are more or less getting the same couple of wands. Well, Matter Eater, right? If I want a Matter Eater, there's down here. But The reason why you're not getting like a huge variety of different wands is because the RNG for the wand that gets summoned by Summon Tekasova is based off of your the cast position of the spell. So where the spell was cast will determine what is inside these wands. And because the farm is concentrated in a certain area so that you don't have to follow it around. Because it's in this area, it will not have many options to choose from. But as we just passed by a chainsaw, right? Grab that, and so you have 9,000 health. You have chainsaw, black hole, whatever. You can if you go to the next holy mountain, you can heal up back to full. Now you do have to be careful. Let's see if I can. I'll heal myself. And let's say you're at 9,000 health, and you accidentally run into fire. You will be taking over 100 damage per tick. So be careful. Which is why I recommend you to do this near this area. It's wide open and it's near the holy mountain. So all you have to do is quickly jump in, grab a heal, and you're back to full health. All right. So once again, here is the build. Let me toss all these out. And the procedure is you make sure you have enough gold, right? To go to the gold room, get 200,000, and then cast this in at the entrance of the mines. Go into new game. Make sure that you do not see the game will restart due to mod changes. Go to the far left, grab an egg. It doesn't have to be a wiggling egg. It could be a chili egg. Just grab an egg from the tree. Go to the far right in the mines. Shoot. Throw the egg onto the ground. Throw the hollow egg, the one with the spell, onto the ground. Then throw the worm egg onto the center of the beam. So the center of the beam is this right here. And then keep pausing. Make sure you have a good sense of how well your PC's handling it. And then when you think your PC's had enough mods, you start with enable mods active, and walk around this area below. The hearts will be here. The wands will be close to the plasma beam.